Hello, callers. Welcome back to Viva Barca. Welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to discuss on some interesting updates. We start with Neymar, as it has been reported that the PSG winger could end up at Barcelona via Saudi Arabia. Super agent Pinita Javi is currently working on a deal. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Secondly, talking about Pablo Gavi, as it is being reported that PSG are still making enquiries for Pablo Gavi's situation as Luis Enrique wants to sign him. We are also going to be looking at that. So as we get right into it, please do ensure to subscribe, turn on the post bell notification so you always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Over the past few days, rumors of Neymar returning to Barcelona from PSG have been gaining a lot of momentum. In fact, Barca president Joan Laporta's campaign manager and close aide Luis Carrasco also hinted that a move could take place this summer. However, the financial situation at the club, coupled with the enormous sums that would be needed to sign Neymar, meant that a move back to the club was unlikely. But as per a fresh report from Sport, Barcelona could end up with Neymar back on the books, albeit via a convoluted operation involving Saudi Arabia. Neymar to Saudi Arabia and then to Barca on loan. Is it possible? Neymar is not in a comfortable situation in Paris now and is said to be keen on an exit, with PSG themselves open to his sale. Saudi Arabia have taken note of the situation and they are preparing a mega offer for the 31-year-old Brazilian. Now, super agent Pini Zahavi, who has close ties with Barcelona president Joan Laporta, is working on a deal so that Neymar signs for a Saudi club this summer before being loaned out to Barcelona for a season. The Brazilian currently earns 22 million euros net salary at PSG, and coupled with other variables and bonuses, his wages rise up to 51 million euros per year, something that Barca are unable to bear. As such, the operation for him moving to Saudi before arriving on loan would appeal to Barca, with the idea of the two clubs sharing his wages via commercial agreements on the table. So, Neymar had been reluctant to listen to the proposal of moving to Saudi Arabia, but the chance of returning to Barcelona on a loan for a year might appeal to the Brazilian superstar. However, the deal would have a condition that the 31-year-old would have to remain in the Middle East nation for 2 years. At the same time, the deal would be made complicated by the difficult relationship between Saudi Arabia and PSG's Qatari owners. But Zahavi is trying to, mediate the negotiations for what will be a hugely complex operation, with this being seen as the only viable way for Neymar to return to Barcelona. At the same time, though, convincing Xavi, who has doubts till now about the Brazilian settling into his dressing room, is also an issue that the Catalans will have to tackle. Of course, the Neymar saga continues to bring in different twists and turns. Of course, Xavi is still not in favor of the move, and of course, Laporta in favor. But I definitely think that Barcelona, irrespective of Xavi's thoughts about the idea of Neymar, they are still pushing for the player, because we can't count the number of reports we keep bringing to you every time about Barca's interest. Um, Talking about Xavi, Laporta and the manager will hold a meeting very soon, I think in the coming days, to discuss on the Neymar situation, because Laporta have realized that Xavi is not of the idea of bringing Neymar back. And of course, you would expect Laporta to convey this meeting in order to, to convince Xavi that Neymar should come to Barcelona. To convince Xavi that Neymar should come to Barcelona this summer. We need him, both sportingly and both economically. The sponsorships that Neymar will bring will be good. He's a superstar. He's more superstar than anybody in that Barca team before Robert Lewandowski. So I definitely think that it would be a great idea for the player to come. So Pini Zahavi, the player's agent, who is having a close relationship with President Joan Laporta, I think working on that wonderful deal for the player to first of all go to Saudi Arabia before coming on loan to Barca. If things don't go well for Barca, then I think that would be a great idea so that both clubs will share the heavy wages that Neymar bring to the table, because for sure we know that Barca can never afford to pay Neymar's wages, right? As I've just said it, Neymar currently earns 22 million euros net per year as a PSG player. Then talk less of other bonuses and stuff like that, other variables can take it to even 40 something million a year. So it is very, very complicated as things stand. Barcelona still dream of bringing a player. This comes after a certain Bernardo Silva's move have already been cancelled. Barca have already given up that Bernardo Silva's move will not be a success, as Pep Guardiola's side, Manchester City, are not interested in any negotiations with the player. Same as with João Cancelo as well. Then on to the next story of discussion. Why PSG are close to selling Ousmane Dembele's transfer from Barcelona for 50 million euros. A report from Mundo Deportivo has emerged claiming that the Ligue 1 side, through their trusted intermediary, who asked Barca if they are willing to sell Gavi. Barca, however, are not even contemplating that scenario because the young midfielder Pablo Gavi is arguably one of the most valuable players of the squad. 19-year-old Gavi's first appearance for the Spanish national team came in 2021. The midfielder made his debut in the Nations League semi-finals against Italy that year, and so became the youngest player to ever represent Spain at senior level. His debut for the national team happened under tutelage of Luis Enrique, who happens to be PSG's new coach. The aforementioned publication writes that former Barca manager is a big fan of Gavi, whose agent, Ivan de la Pena, also happens to share close ties with Enrique. As such, PSG launched an inquiry for Gavi through intermediaries, only to be completely shut down by FC Barcelona. The 19-year-old youngster, whose market value is now 90 million, could not feature in any matches during the pre-season tour of the United States due to back problems. But it goes without saying that he is simply irreplaceable to the team. He is in fact the present as well as he is the future. PSG are set to sign Dembele from Barca imminently, and the Frenchman's departure is going to leave a very big hole on Mark, especially at the point when the Blaugrana have very little time to react. So guys, with that we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.